Welcome back to Garden Talk, brought to you by the Penn State Erie County Extension Master Gardeners. I'm your co-host, Mike Bailey, along with Ellen DePlacido. Again, Ellen, good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Hey, last time around we started talking about giving novice gardeners or new gardeners some hints about how to kind of plan their garden as far as, what are the primary things that you need to look for. The big one is obviously sunshine, right?
Yes.
And you got to kind of figure out a way of positioning your garden so you're going to get as much sun as you can. But we also talked about good soil. We also talk about supplemental water. We also talk about, to kind of control those animals,
pests,
pest animals like the deer and the woodchuck and the rabbits and all those other creatures. And the fencing is, a good option. And I mentioned briefly about, putting that fence around the garden. And some people say, well, they're going to just jump over the fence. Yeah, they will if it's short. But again, don't be afraid to take some wooden pegs, a couple feet long, and attach them to the top of the fence somehow, or where you have the post, and then do it around the garden. And just run some twine in between those things.
Okay.
That visual disturbance will keep the deer from jumping into the garden.
Okay.
So, that's an inexpensive fix to a short fence.
Okay. I have heard some people talk about putting like little flag things that blow in the breeze. Is that yes or no? It might. Maybe. Okay.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, if you want to tie some of those things to the twine that you have wrapped around it, yes, that'll increase that, viewing, that visual component. Okay. Yes. But let's talk about, planning the garden itself. Okay, what you're going to plant. Where should they start, Ellen?
Well, I think, first of all, you need to decide what you want to plant and kind of decide how much time you want to spend in this garden. I mean, is it going to be a little hobby that you do on the weekends, or is it something that you can work in every day? So be careful how much you bite off.
And
make a plan. Like, what do you really want to plant? What do you like? Like, I like to make sure I have tomatoes and carrots, things like that, because I don't have a large space at home. But plan it and actually write out that plan so that you know what you planted and how well it did.
Yeah, the worst thing to do is go to the store before you have anything planted. Go to the nursery, and you see all those vegetable plants, and you start pulling them off the shelf and put them in your cart. Right. And then you go home and you go, oh, what am I going to do now? No, do it the other way around.
Right.
Right.
Plan first and then go buy what you want.
Prepare the garden site. Have a game plan. Go to the store with the idea that you're going to get, 3 or 6 or whatever tomato plants or something like that, and don't get 15 if you
don't have the space.
If you only plan for 6, because you
don't want to spend the time in your garden taking care of them.
Yeah, what you really want to do is setting yourself up for success.
Right.
Especially if you're a novice gardener. Okay, be careful. Okay, and some of the things are easier to grow than others, aren't they?
Oh yeah, and we keep talking about those plants. The tomatoes, the peppers, the eggplants. And, you can always stick herbs in around your plants. They say basil goes really well with tomatoes and things like that. But it's really good to put some herbs in your garden for several different reasons. But when you're first starting out, those will probably be the most successful plants for you.
You're right. As will, carrots and beets are easy to grow too.
Your root crops
like that.
Great.
And green beans. I can't live.
I know. Here we go, Mike.
I can't live without fresh green beans.
Blue Lake.
Blue Lake variety. That's the variety
and they are good.
That my wife loves. And she won't eat anything else anymore. Okay, so we do that all the time. In fact, talk about growing vertically too.
Right.
Yeah. Try to do that. Okay, especially if you got a small garden. If you grow vertically, okay, you can get a whole lot more production out of a small space.
Right.
If you put in a little bit of a fence or some kind of a structure for, like pole beans or pole peas to climb on, you'll be so happy with those. You really will.
I think in a small garden, a teepee works really well.
Okay, fine, very good.
We've used teepees, but Mike and I have a large community garden that we work at, but we found better ways than a teepee, but I think in the home garden, a teepee would work well.
Yeah. And don't make it difficult.
No.
Remember, if you're doing a raised bed, and we'll talk about that sometime in the near future here. Okay, you can plant intensively. You don't have to follow the directions on the packet.
Right.
You can put those rows of carrots and beets 2 inches apart, can't you?
Yes, you can.
Or even closer.
I had to learn.
or even closer.
Yeah.
Gardening should be fun. And you want to keep it that way. We want you to enjoy this, okay? Then we want you to enjoy the produce out of it also. So, and if you have a problem, keep in mind that you can always call the Master Gardener hotline. And that phone number is 814-825-0900. Okay, again, 825-0900. And one of us will end up on the other end of the phone eventually, and we'll get back to you, okay? So, Ellen, it looks like, again, we're out of time, so how about we sign off for the day?
Okay. Thanks, Mike.
Yep. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.